Take a moment and imagine your life without fire. No hot coffee, no cooked food, no warm houses, no electricity. In fact, you probably wouldn't even survive childhood. Because before humans controlled fire, every meal was eaten raw, every night belonged to predators, and every winter was a fight against the cold. Now, here's the strange part. Humans didn't discover fire because they had never seen it before. They had seen it their entire lives. Their parents had seen it. Their grandparents had seen it. Their ancestors had seen it for thousands of generations. Fire was everywhere. The real mystery is not why humans discovered fire. The real mystery is, why did it take so long? Because if fire was so useful, why didn't the first human who saw it immediately realize that? Why did countless generations walk past one of the most powerful tools in history? To answer that question, we need to understand what fire looked like through prehistoric eyes. Imagine you're a prehistoric human. A storm arrives. Thunder shakes the sky. Then suddenly, a tree explodes. Flames climb into the darkness. The forest begins to burn. Animals run. Birds flee. The air fills with smoke, and you run too, because everything you've ever learned tells you one thing: stay away. Fire destroys. Fire kills. Fire takes. It never gives. And every time your tribe sees it, the lesson is reinforced. The forest burns. Animals die. Shelters disappear. People get hurt. Why would anyone think differently? After all, every piece of evidence points to the same conclusion: fire is bad. And this wasn't a belief formed in a day. It may have been repeated for thousands of generations. Think about that. For perhaps hundreds of thousands of years, humans kept seeing the same thing: a giant force that destroyed everything in its path. To them, fire wasn't technology. It wasn't opportunity. It wasn't innovation. Fire was a disaster. And honestly, can you blame them? If the only thing you ever saw was your house burning down, you probably wouldn't dream of installing a fireplace. But something strange kept happening. After the fire passed, the landscape changed. The predators disappeared. The cold disappeared. The darkness disappeared. Something unexpected remained. Food. Lots of it. Animals that hadn't escaped. Plants transformed by heat. Food that smelled different and, perhaps most importantly, required less chewing. Now imagine life before cooked food. Tomorrow morning, try a simple experiment. Eat everything raw. Raw meat, raw roots, raw plants. Nothing cooked, nothing heated, nothing roasted. Most people wouldn't last a day. Not because they would starve, because they'd be miserable. Before fire, every meal was work. Hard chewing, long digestion, constant effort. Imagine spending an entire day gathering food, only to use a huge portion of the energy you gained just digesting it. It's like getting paid a salary and instantly losing half of it. Your body worked hard, but your stomach worked even harder. So, when prehistoric humans occasionally found food altered by fire, something unusual may have happened. Maybe it tasted better. Maybe it felt easier to eat. Maybe it sat differently in the stomach. At first, nobody connected the dots. Why would they? When you're focused on surviving, you rarely stop to investigate a coincidence. But eventually, someone noticed. And history may have changed because of that one observation. Imagine one person standing at the edge of a burned forest. Everyone else walks away, but this person doesn't. They take one more step, just close enough to feel the heat, close enough to realize something no one else had. The fire wasn't only destroying, it was changing things. The animals left behind were easier to eat. The cold no longer mattered. The predators kept their distance. And suddenly, one dangerous thought crossed their mind. What if we've been looking at fire the wrong way? That single question may have been one of the most important questions ever asked. Because it's easy to be curious when nothing can hurt you. It's much harder when one wrong move could cost your life. Every instinct said run, but somehow someone chose to step closer. And then perhaps the greatest lucky accident in human history happened. A piece of food touched by fire, a bite taken out of curiosity, a discovery nobody expected. The food was softer, warmer, easier to chew, easier to digest, more satisfying. And this is where science gets really interesting. The primatologist Richard Wrangham proposed a fascinating idea in his book, Catching Fire. He argued that cooking food may have helped fuel the evolution of larger human brains. Why? Because cooked food is easier to digest. Your body spends less energy processing it and gains more usable calories. Think about it this way. A raw potato is like a locked treasure chest. Cooking helps open the chest. The nutrients become easier to access. Over thousands of generations, that extra energy may have helped support bigger brains, and bigger brains changed everything. Language, tools, planning, civilization, possibly even this video. Which means your ability to sit here watching YouTube today, that might be the strangest success story in human history. But finding fire was only the beginning. Keeping it alive was the real challenge. Early humans probably couldn't create fire whenever they wanted. Many researchers believe they first collected it from natural sources. That meant if your fire went out, you had a serious problem. Imagine becoming the official firekeeper of your tribe. Your entire job description was basically, don't let this stick stop glowing. No pressure, just the future of humanity. Some anthropologists think people carried embers for days or even weeks, protecting them, feeding them, transporting them from place to place, like carrying the world's most important battery. Except, this battery could also burn down your camp if you made one mistake. Eventually, humans learned something even more powerful. They no longer had to wait for nature. They could make fire themselves. That changed everything. Now humans could move into colder regions, survive harsh winters, expand into new environments. Fire became a tool, a weapon, a shield, a cooking device, a source of light, a survival machine. And unlike most inventions, we never stopped using it. A burning tree, one curious human, one decision. Sometimes history doesn't change because something new appears. Sometimes it changes because someone sees the ordinary in an extraordinary way. So, would you have walked toward the fire or run away like everyone else? Leave your answer in the comments. And if you enjoy exploring the hidden stories behind human history, subscribe for more. Because sometimes the biggest discoveries aren't buried underground. They're hidden in the questions we never think to ask.